Good evening, everybody. Welcome to day 5 of the Life Skills Week, presented by the Unidos Now Future Leaders Academy Barancik Scholars. My name is Cynthia Elnestar. I'm the program director at Unidos Now, and I'm honored to welcome you to this online event for the entire family. This week, our scholars have been delivering presentations on 10 different life skills. During their summer break, they have been doing their own research on life skills, and now they would like to share with you their findings and suggestions. Now, what are life skills? They are abilities and behaviors that help you deal effectively with events and challenges of everyday life. They are the skills that allow you to handle everything, from interacting with others to identifying and processing your emotions. They are important in all aspects of life, including school, relationships, and work. A few housekeeping rules before we get started. You're welcome to ask questions. Please use the chat box to type your questions and we will read them after the presentation. If you need Spanish interpretation, click More on the lower right or upper right-hand corner of your screen. Then click Language Interpretation, then click Spanish, and mute original audio. Si requiere interpretación en español, por favor, haga clic en la esquina superior o inferior de su pantalla donde dice Más. Luego haga clic en Interpretación de idiomas, después en Español y en Silenciar audio original. And now, please meet the Future Leaders Academy Barancik Scholars.
Hi, my name is Diana. I'm a rising senior at Riverview High School.
Hi, everybody. My name is Mitzi, and I'm a rising senior at Booker High School.
Hi, my name is Camilla Moran, and I'm a rising junior at Manatee High School.
Hi, my name is Nicole Llamas, and I'm a rising junior at Sarasota High School.
And
Hi, my name is Jocelyn Segarra. I'm a rising junior at Manatee High School.
And our presentation is on self-awareness, and we'd like to give a special thank you to Unidos Now and Charles and Marjorie Barancik Foundation. So what is self-awareness? Self-awareness is the ability to, it's the conscious knowledge that one's own character, feelings, and motives and desires. Debbie Forbes phrased it as the ability to take an honest look at your life without attachment to being right or wrong. Self-awareness to me means being true to myself.
Self-awareness to me means responsibility.
Self-awareness means how your personality is.
Self-awareness for me is knowing yourself.
Self-awareness to me is knowing your identity.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna have to ask you 2 questions. Who are you and why? So first off, by who are you, it means by your personality. So you're either the person who's like really quiet at school or the workplace and they prefer not to ask questions or just anything. Or you rather be the person who's really outgoing, loves talking to people, like communication is their #1 thing, making friends, or you're either in between. So like, I know, for example, for me, it impacted me when I was very little. I was really much of an introvert, and I really didn't like whenever the teacher would call out on me. And as I started getting older, I noticed a sudden change in my personality. And like, I started being more self-aware of how my grades were improving. The choices that I used to make were like better than I used to do when I was little. And I made new friends. I respected my peers more, and it just changed my whole life by just noticing the sudden change that I made on myself. Next slide.
Self-reflection. The main 3 categories of self-reflection are extrovert, introvert, and an ambivert. An extrovert is an outgoing, overly expressive person, while an introvert is a shy, reticent person. An ambivert is a person whose personality has a balance of an extrovert and an introvert features. I myself am an introvert, but at times I'm an ambivert. Being an introvert sometimes has made me fail tests because I'm scared of not asking my teachers or my peers for help on a test or an exam, which caused me to fail the test. But as I'm being an ambivert through time, I've been passing my tests and exams. Your main goal to reach throughout this presentation is being an ambivert. Next slide.
All right, so now we're going to do a self-awareness exercise, and I'd like our viewers to take out a piece of paper and a pencil. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking you through a couple self-awareness questions to ask yourself and answer to yourself to bring you closer to who you are and who you want to be. So let's start with the first question. What does your ideal you look like? Answer this to yourself. Number 2, what kinds of dreams and goals do you have? Number 3, why are these dreams or goals important? Number 4, what is keeping you from these dreams or goals? Number 5, rank 5 to 10 of the most important things in your life, in your career, family, relationships, and love, money, etc. Number 6, now think about the portion of time you dedicate to each of these things. Seven, what would you recommend to your children to do or not to do? And even if you don't have kids, think about what you would tell your future children or any niece, nephew that we have in the future. Number 8, describe yourself in 3 words. Number 9, ask yourself if your personality has changed since childhood. And if you were listening to Camila's and Jocelyn's stories, they kind of explain how their personality has changed. Number 10, is your personality like either of your parents? And then 2 final questions. What is your biggest weakness, but what is also your biggest strength? All right, and if you would like, please tell us in the chat what made you think the hardest? What question made you think the hardest? Just give you a couple minutes to finish up. All right.
Self-confidence. Self-confidence is a feeling of trust in one's abilities, quality, and judgment. Only 15% of people have self-confidence, and social media plays a big part of that. Some exercises to help you with self-confidence is making yourself a priority, acknowledging your success, finding yourself, and don't beat yourself up over mistakes.
All right, building relationships. So now that you are getting on your way to being self-aware, building relationships becomes a big part of who you are and a big part of your day, whether it be a home relationship or a work relationship. So there's 2 types of relationships, which include interpersonal and intrapersonal. An interpersonal relationship is one that you have with others. So the relationship you have with a coworker, with a family member, with a loved one, your peers, etc. An interpersonal relationship is that relationship you have with yourself. So having a relationship with yourself is kind of knowing your strengths and your weaknesses, hence the last two questions we had in our self-awareness exercise. And once you know these things, it makes it so much easier for you to build those interpersonal relationships. And building interpersonal relationships helps you, you know, go further in your future and get forth with, you know, your career, your aspirations, because building those interpersonal relationships helps build connections. But it also helps you come closer to who you are because others can help you through that.
So by this time, you may be wondering how this all ties into your future. 3 easy steps is understanding your emotions, how we affect others, and how we convey messages. And well, if you're thinking of becoming a leader or even bettering yourself, a key component is getting to know your strengths and weaknesses. Once you understand your emotions, you can really know what a good decision is and what a decision can cost you or put you onto a setback. Examples include decisions on what college or school will be the best fit for you, or even what work environment will allow you to feel comfortable. Those are all decisions that you will need to know who you are. I personally taken personality tests that specifically seeks out on making you aware of your strengths and weaknesses. I even have it in my notes, and I can tell you off the top of my head that a personal strength of mine is that I'm tolerant, meaning I know I don't always have all the answers, but I'm willing to work with different personality types. A weakness of mine is I sometimes am overly idealistic. So continue on with decisions like school decisions and job decisions. It's all about knowing how you play with others and how you feel you affect others.
And I would just like to add, this kind of also falls into the building relationships things. Like Mitzi was saying, you know, she's really good at being tolerant of others and working with different personalities. You know, with her interpersonal relationships, she's good with working with others, and that helps her with her connections and her future, because she can be a team leader, but she can also be a team player, and that's really important. I'd like to say, you know, like, understanding your emotions, for me, that was something difficult for me. You know, I kind of went through a toll where I had a lot of anxiety, and I kind of needed to stop and go to a counselor and talk about me for a minute and just kind of, you know, get my emotions out there. And that really just helps you because it brings you closer to who you are, and it kind of makes everything kind of piece back together and you can feel better. You are now
Self-aware.
Stay focused.
And remember
Your purpose.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. This has been a great presentation. Self-awareness is something that we can all improve and work on. And I appreciate how you not only explain what it is, but also how it affects us, right, in any aspect of our lives. Does the audience have any questions? Looks like there are no questions. So I would like now to introduce the next team that will be talking about about study skills.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us this evening. For starters, we would like to thank the Unidos Now team and the Barancik Foundation for making this possible. My name is Rosalind Avila. I am a rising junior at Southeast High School, and presenting with me today is...
Hello, everyone. My name is Jennifer Cruz. I'm a rising junior in Braden River High School.
Hello, everyone. My name is Camila Fermin, and I am a rising senior at Riverview High School. And we have a fourth member, but unfortunately, Daniel Uzcategui was not able to be here with us, but we still have his part of the presentation, and we hope you enjoy it.
The topic we were given to present was study skills. Before we start, can you please bring out a paper and a pen. We have an activity later in the presentation. Intro to study skills. Study skills is the process of organizing and taking in new information. This graph shows components of study skills like organization, note-taking, and setting goals and monitoring your progress. Study skills is a combination of relaxation methods, learning tactics, and note-taking strategies that help one retain information. Now I would like to share my experience. Studying for me, like for a lot of people, hasn't always been easy. I felt like everything was going through one ear and coming out the other. It was a struggle trying to keep all the information I wrote in my notebook for the big test the next day. I would stay up all night just rereading the same 2 sentences over and over again. I would get frustrated and get distracted by the music I had in the background. I would raise it just a little bit higher and continue trying to memorize all the information. Now, do you see all the things that I used to do wrong while studying? Maybe? Well, let me tell you. For starters, the music. Studies have shown that instrumental music does work for some students to retain the information they need while studying. But in my case, music definitely doesn't help me, especially blasting it. Another thing I would do wrong while studying would be trying to cram my brain with information that I learned in the course of 3 weeks or so in one night. This made me frustrated and unable to actually retain the information that I needed. The biggest mistake I had while studying was trying to memorize everything rather than try to understand everything. I was finally over staying up all night and not remembering a single thing the next day. So I looked for the best study method that worked for me. I stopped writing every single word from the book or every word the teacher said and started summarizing the topic. By writing the main points down on the top of the topic next to them and helped me now have so many words on the page. I stopped blasting music while I studied and stopped trying to cram everything in one night. Instead, I now expend my study time a few minutes throughout the week. I also stopped trying to memorize other information and started to try and understand the bullet points of the topics. Now that I figured out the study method that best worked for me, I am able to understand and retain the information I need while studying. Now I would like to pass it on to my peer, Jennifer.
Thank you, Rosalind. There are many ways to preparation of mentality and environment. Relaxing is one of them. Clear your head before you begin studying. Relaxing before and during studying is a great way to improve your focus. A way to relax is by deep breathing. Sitting up straight, close your eyes, slowly inhale through your nose, then exhale through your mouth. Next. Listening to music. Studies have shown listening to music while studying will increase your focus and concentration. There are different types of music that can help. For example, classical or instrumental can be better than music with lyrics. Mindset. Having a positive mindset is best for study skills and even in other situations. With a positive mindset, it can change your reaction to a situation. For example, you have gotten a low score on your test. Instead of focusing on that low score on that failed test, try to focus what you can improve on the next upcoming test. Switching your surroundings can often help with study skills. Probably you are the type to be easily distracted by things. By switching your surroundings, you can focus better in your studies. For example, you can go to a library or turn off all electronics that are distracting. Now I'll pass it to Camilla.
Hello, everyone. Well, as you heard, my name is Camila Fermin, and I will talk to you a little bit about what actual methods and tricks you can apply to your study time. The first one is active recall. This method goes against reading and rereading textbooks because that leads students to thinking they know the material better than they actually do because they have it in front of them. So this method encourages students to close the book and recite everything they can remember up to the point to practice long-term memorization. So if you want to remember a fact, don't just read it, don't reread it, don't underline or highlight. Close your eyes and try to recall it without looking it up in your notes or online. If you can successfully do so, you have used active recall and you probably know your information. If not, look it up, learn it, and then try again. You can also use practice tests. So we high school students have to prepare really hard for the SAT and ACT standardized tests. And we do that by taking practice tests. And you can also do that for your classes. You can look up all tests online or use resources like Khan Academy that provide practice questions for different subjects. You can also use textbooks. So most of your classes will probably have a textbook that will have practice questions, or classes like AP classes or IB classes will have a specific material that will do a run through the test that you will take at the end and the information that you actually have to know for it. And if you cannot afford those or find them, you can also make your own study guides. Become the teacher. Try to explain the material in your own words, as if you were the teacher. You can do this in a study group or a study partner or just by yourself. Saying the material out loud will point out where you're confused and need more information. And it will also help you retain that information because you will say it over and over and over again, and you will explain it over and over and over again, which will help keep that information in your mind and you in a way that you actually understand that, you know? There's also the FEYNMAN notebook method. This method has 4 steps. First step, grab a sheet of paper and write the name of a concept, an idea, or topic that you need to know at the top of the sheet. Then explain that in your own words, as if you were explaining it to someone else, maybe someone younger than you. Use simple language. Then review that. Identify areas where maybe you didn't know something or didn't know how to explain it. And then the 4th step is train again. Reinforce those areas that you identified and try to do it in a better way. This will help you to not only memorize, but actually understand the information. My own advice. So there's something called metacognition. Metacognition is basically thinking about how you think, making a self-reflection, asking yourself questions like, how do I learn better? Do I learn better by hearing the information, by doing drawings, or by looking at graphs? Those are questions that you have to ask yourself to find the best study method for you. And what works for me? Well, I use the become the teacher method. I look like I'm crazy. I'm talking to no one, and well, I'm talking to myself in my bedroom, just repeating the information and try to find different ways to explain it so that I myself understand it. And I have also found out that it really helps me to rewrite the information. So I look at my notes and I find other ways to explain that information, or I just rewrite my notes. And that's especially helps with memorizing vocabulary words for classes like biology. Now it's a time for an activity. My peers, Jennifer and Rosalind, and myself will do this activity with you. So we asked the audience earlier to get out a piece of paper and something to write with. And I ask you to imagine that you are in a desert land and you can't get out of there. You just can't. We will give you 2 minutes and you will have to write a list of things that you would take to that island. And there are some things that will be essential for your survival and some that maybe will not. And the non-essentials will have 1 point. The essentials will have 3 points. So you earn 1 point for non-essentials and 3 points for essentials. I will set up my timer, take my marker, and we will start. Start you as well. Now. This is actually more difficult than it looks like. Oh my God, guys, I cannot think of anything. 1 minute and a half. My God, guys, this is really difficult. I feel ashamed. I am the one who's presenting. I should know the answers. 30 seconds. We have 30 seconds left. Come on, you can do it. Can I? Oh my God. 3, 2, 1. Done, guys. Okay. Jennifer, Rosalind, how many points did you get? So try to calculate that by what you think will help you survive. What will help you to actually survive? And please tell me. I will do that as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 things that will help me survive. So by 3, that's 18, and I have 1, 2, 3 things that, so will be 20. I have 21 points, guys. I think that's pretty good. How many do you got? Do you have?
I only have 4 essentials and 2 non-essential.
Okay.
I have 2 essential ones and 3 not so good.
Okay, that's good. That's good. I wrote down a fork. I don't know why. It just came to my mind. Okay. Why is this relevant? You may wonder. Well, if you're not used to managing your time and figuring out your priorities and how they can work in your favor in a limited amount of time can be challenging. This game forces all players to think about not only what they would need, but how they can get more points in the required time frame. This is very similar to your life and how you can include study time into your day. If you only have 9 hours to take care of all your tasks, and you have to make sure that you're getting the most value out of the task you choose to do, you're going to be far more careful about how you're using your hourly blocks and picking your tasks. This will also help you to identify distractions like social media and those distractions may be holding you back from getting the most value. So if you got less than 20 points, maybe redo that activity. And we're talking about time management now, which a topic that my peer Rosalind will talk about as well.
Hello again. For time management, thinking about your priorities. Thinking about your priorities will help you use your time wisely. You should eliminate distractions by putting away anything that would cause a distraction while studying, like your phone or your games, and finding a quiet place to study in peace, like a library, like Jennifer mentioned earlier. Studying in a peaceful environment will help keep you away from distractions, essentially giving you more study time. Working on one thing at a time. Working on one thing at a time helps you be more concentrated on that one topic, allowing yourself to actually understand rather than memorize the information, giving you better results at the end. You should set a goal for each study session. Setting a goal will help you to push yourself to accomplish that goal. It could be as simple as reading one chapter of a book. And most importantly, do not overstudy. Overstudying doesn't help to retain or understand the information. Rather than overstudying, try having short study sessions a few minutes a day throughout the week, remembering to set a goal for each day. This method is more flexible on tight schedules. Finally, finding your own study method is an amazing way to help you learn the best and help you be able to retain the information you need for tests or future reference, like your daily life. Again, thank you everyone for joining and being a part of this presentation, and we would like to thank Unidos Now and the Barancik Foundation for making this possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Rosalind, and thank you, the entire team, for teaching us about the different life skills, different study skills available, right? Actually, I'm like Camila. I also do the teacher technique, and since I was very young, I would do that. I would teach my invisible students, and that's how I would learn and memorize and understand what I was studying. So we all have to find the skill that works best for us. And I think that our team today has provided us with several different options for each of us to try and see which one works best. So again, thank you very much. Are there any questions in the audience? I don't see any questions. So I would like to thank you for having joined us this evening. We hope that you had a great time learning about self-awareness and study skills. Life skills take practice, and developing them will improve your quality of life. Today's workshop marks the end of our Life Skills Week. The recordings of all the sessions are available on the Unidos Now Facebook page and also on YouTube. If you enjoy these workshops, please share the recordings with your family and friends, and contact us to let us know what else you would like to learn about. We are grateful for the continued support of the Charles and Marjorie Barancik Foundation, other community partners, the Unidos Now board, the Unidos Now Dream Team, students, donors, and everyone who helps us make these learning opportunities possible. Have a restful weekend. Bye-bye.